Hey guys, welcome to episode 37 of Two Girls Chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby.
And today we're going to talk about...
I'm Lauren. I'm sorry. Today we're going to talk about...
week 2 of round 4 of the Stanley Cup Tournament. Did you like that?
I don't know what to say to that. We're talking about the final series. Week 1.
It's the final countdown. I definitely just said week 2.
It's week 1.
Whatever. I know it's week 1. At the time this will be dropping, though, it'll be week 2. Nevertheless,
Yeah.
We're talking about week 1. Ignore me. I'm new here.
Are you new here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering what the sun is reflecting off of, yes, I am that pale. What about it? I don't buy into the southern ideal that you need to be tan. I'm trying to age gracefully, and to do that, you got to age pale. But also, look, you guys, I only have steri strips now. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Give me a couple more weeks, and I might be able to bend this thing.
Yeah, she no longer has stitches in her knee. One leg is good-ish.
One leg's mostly good, yeah.
I would say like 80,
Yeah,
75%.
I would definitely say 85, 90 percentile.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was like a gnat.
Gonna.
We do live in the South. They be getting in here. I don't know how they do it.
It's super fun.
But anyways, speaking of super fun, what'd you do this morning, girls? I'm so happy you asked. We got up. We went to our local coffee shop, Maple Avenue Coffee House, I think is what it's called. It was a new one.
Yeah.
And then we went to our local farmer's market.
Yeah.
And
No
then we went to
7 Brew today.
No 7 Brew today.
Who are we?
Support your local businesses.
Yeah. 7 Brew's local-ish. The location here is
It's
local to us.
local to me. Yeah, I like it.
I'm super excited.
I know. I needed it. I feel better.
I do too. I kind of think I might need another coffee. There's no kind of. I'm going to need another coffee.
Well, you were out last night being young, while I stayed at home and was an academic weapon.
Dude, I've been so freaking social recently. And, it's
I
fun,
know.
but I'm tired. I've been out till, midnight both nights. And before you come at me, I go to bed at, 8:30. I'm an old lady.
Yep. That's true.
If I make it to 8:30.
That's true. You
But I
started
also
talking
get
about how
up
tired
early.
you are from 6 to 7.
Yeah. But I get up early, too.
Yeah, you do.
5 a.m.
Only during the work week.
I know. Well, during the work week is when I'm I'm lucky to make it to 8:30.
Girl, I get up at 4:15.
Yeah. During the work week.
Yeah. That's all I can manage to do that on. Otherwise, I'm at 8 to 9er. Anyways, let's dive in.
Anyways, do we want to start with what's been going on in the PWHL?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So they've done the expansion draft. If you've not been along for an expansion draft, we've talked about it in the NHL, but the PWHL has 2 new teams. Mm-hmm. Those 2 teams basically got to pick, 6 players from every team. The existing 4 could protect 3 of their players going into the expansion draft.
And they protected some bold choices.
I'm
I'm looking at you, Minnesota Frost.
Yeah.
How are you not going to protect Maddie Rooney?
How are you going to protect? Gone now?
How are you going to protect she who must not be named and not Maddie Rooney?
Yeah.
Who was a huge part of getting you that second win.
Which an argument can be made. Bretta Corl-Solani did have some great plays and did kind of secure them a Walter Cup.
I just am a fundamental believer that it doesn't matter it doesn't really matter how good your forwards and your centers and your defensemen are if you don't have a good goalie.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the game, it comes down to who's going to score. And if you have a shitty goalie, you're not winning anything. I mean, look at never mind. Let me not call him out.
Let me airdrop this article to myself. Because I had it on my phone, not on my iPad. Also, the return of the iPad. It feels sentimental.
I use my iPad all the time to study.
Yeah, I've been using my notebook, though, as we've been doing the playoffs.
Yeah, you have that tea-time.
Which I do have, don't worry. We're gonna use it, my steno pad.
Good, I was so worried.
I know.
First of all, I want to shout out every single PWHL team for having a Pride profile pic on Instagram. Good job, allies.
Yeah, they all do.
The NHL could never, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. Happy Pride Month.
Even
to those
Seattle
who
and
celebrate.
Vancouver, they don't even have their full teams yet.
Yeah, So Vancouver has signed Claire Thompson.
Yep.
Sophie Jack Emirates, Moshmeyer, Sarah Nurse.
And our girl Sarah Nurse. And the girlies rejoiced.
I actually think she's going to be great there.
Dude, we're going to have to go to Vancouver.
We're going to have to go to Vancouver.
We're going to have to see when a PWHL game and a Canucks game line up and then go to Vancouver.
Yes.
To our girls, Rachel and Emma, who live there, let us know.
Please come with us to the games. And they've also signed Jen Gardner.
Wow, wasn't she married to Ben Affleck? Haha.
That's actually, I didn't even put that together. That's actually so funny.
Yeah, the brain rot's real with me.
And Seattle has signed Hillary Knight.
Yeah, they did.
Danielle Sardachny? Danielle Sardachny? I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. I've for sure said your name wrong. Sorry, my queen. Kayla Barnes, Alex Carpenter, who's also going to be really good for them, and Corinne Schroeder, goaltender. But yeah, the 6 inaugural teams could protect 3 players from the get-go. There were some hot takes and protections, some that were like a given. After each inaugural team has 2 players taken from them, has given up their rights to 2 players, they get to protect a 3rd player.
I really like how they set that up.
Yeah, I like that too. Like, it makes sense the way that they do that. And you can only protect players that are under contract for the following season. So, like, if a contract's up, you can't protect them, which, honestly,
That's smart, because that would be a way to force people to stay that do not want to stay. So, I like that.
Yeah, I do like that.
Once again, the PWHL knows what they're doing.
Yes, so we've already had the exclusive signing window. That's what happened. That's how Vancouver and Seattle got all those players. Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about who has protected who?
Yeah. I posted them on our Instagram, but let's get into it.
Yes. The Boston Fleet have protected Aaron Frankel, Megan Keller, Alina Mueller, and they have not chosen their 4th player to be protected yet. They haven't relinquished the rights to 2 players yet. Minnesota protected Coyne Schofield. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Taylor Heisey. Yeah. That's a given.
Yeah.
And
that's a definite.
Bretta Curl Salami.
Salami? That's how you just said her name.
Yeah.
I thought her last name was Solani.
I did too, but I'm seeing now it's spelled with M's, not N's.
I just refer to her as she who will not be named.
Yeah. And she who will not be named. They've also had 2 players taken from them, so they chose to protect Lee Steichlen as their 4th.
Yeah.
If you separate Taylor Heisey and Grace Sumwinkle, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to mourn the duo that is the 2 of them. I love them so much.
I'm still recovering from Zetterlund and Eklund being separated.
Yeah.
In the Sharks.
Yeah.
And it's been months.
Yeah. Montreal protected Aaron Ambrose. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Poulin.
Obviously.
If you didn't protect her, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And Desbiens. And then they've also protected Laura Stacey as their 4th.
I was a bit stressed out because they didn't immediately protect Laura Stacey. And I was like, you're not gonna...
Please do not split up the royal couple.
That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna disappoint the queen.
That's mom and mommy. Like, you can't separate them.
And then when they did announce that they were protecting her, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
You're doggone
Thank
Skippy,
God.
you are.
Yes. The Sirens protected Sarah Fillier, Maya Persons... Ella Shelton and Zandy Hart. Ottawa protected Emily Clark.
Yes.
Obviously.
That's our girl right there.
Obviously. Gabby Hughes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, tracks. Gwyneth Phillips. Are they the only one that protected a goaltender?
I think so. The disrespect to the
Desbiens is a goaltender for Montreal.
I just honestly couldn't believe that the Frost didn't protect Maddie Rooney. I'm actually taking it quite personally. I'm actually a bit offended by their choices, but that's okay.
It would be different. It would be different if they didn't protect Coral Salami. Like, you could have done someone else there.
Personally, I just don't.
It's just because I don't
agree with her morals.
Yeah. but Ottawa protected Phillips, which you should, my God.
Dear Lord, yes.
She got you to the finals.
I don't even need to explain why you need to protect her.
I don't even need to explain.
If y'all fumbled that, you shouldn't be here.
And
but they did.
Savalainen. Mm-hmm. And then the Scepters, the last one, protected Renata Fast, Blair Turnbull, Daryl Watts, and they have not protected their fourth player.
I love Blair.
So, I love the way she spells her name.
Yes. She's my favorite player on the Scepters.
Yeah. Okay, and that's what you've missed on that. Mm-hmm. The draft has not happened yet. I don't fully know how that works. I know that we've mentioned we might do a draft episode. Quite frankly, I don't fully know how that works, and I don't want to misspeak, but I know that Jocks and Jills will cover the PWHL draft, and I'm sure that there's people out there covering the NHL draft. So we'll probably talk about the results, and like the players that are chosen. But if you're looking for how it works, I don't think we're your girls for that.
We're not gonna film an episode about how the draft works?
No, I don't think so.
Shit, y'all are finding out just as I am.
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't have the time to do the research. Maybe I might do
don't.
If I do get the time to look into it, I'll probably just do like a TikTok series.
Yeah, I do think that once the PWHL draft happens, we'll definitely talk about the people who are selected and a little bit about them. Same with the NHL draft. Probably like the top 3 picks we'll go through. Or
I'll see.
If anybody
It depends on how the school semester is going.
Yeah.
I might try and deliver because several people have asked us to do a draft
and
episode on both.
Like, I would love to. I just, quite frankly, I don't have the brain power or the bandwidth to do the research for that right now. And it's like this week.
Oh my God.
I want to say it's the 9th. Oh, it's June 24th.
Oh.
You know what? Stay tuned.
Let's weigh in. Let's bring back peer pressure.
I crumble under pressure, so that's actually valid. One more thing I want to say about the PWHL. I saw a clip where Heisey and Zumwinkle went on, I think it was Jocks and Jills, after the Cup win. And they're still in their pads and everything.
Heck yeah, they are.
And Heisey drops that Zumwinkle has stitches behind her ear.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I didn't even notice. And then I looked down and everybody was like, there's a lot of blood. And I was like, oh, there sure is. And they glued it back together and then put stitches in after the game.
Well, she was valid because, like, they're wearing the cages.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to, like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And also your adrenaline's going.
And to quote PK Subban, in the playoffs, everybody's playing injured and you want to.
Yeah, to the guy that tried to say that they don't, or, like, to the guy who's like, they don't fight enough in the PWHL, they don't get injured. Girl, BFFR.
BFFR. Also, if you need a fight to be entertained, just watch boxing.
Yeah, there's something deeper going on there.
Yeah.
Because why do you want to see people fight? I say knowing good and well that that's one of my favorite parts about hockey.
I actually do love it, but
I'm allowed to say that because I have a podcast.
Because I'm
a woman, so that's that. And if you don't like that, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're entitled to your opinion, but keep it to yourself.
Yeah. That's all the notes I have on the PWHL, though.
Perfect. That's all the notes I had on it. Pretty much it was shout out to the Pride allies and shout out to Sarah Nurse going to Vancouver. Let's freaking go.
Oh, not us bringing sexuality into it again. Are you kidding?
Wow, women always bring sexuality into everything. Why are y'all so obsessed?
Why are these chicks 90%?
Chicks in parentheses was crazy. Yeah, we got into a little tiff, if you will, with a man. Every once in a while.
We didn't get into a tiff. He tried to start something.
He tried to rage bait. But it was so illogical because it typically is that I think you responded once at work and then when he responded I was like, that doesn't even like that.
I'll read it to you.
There's no logic in that.
I'll read it to you.
Abby, I don't think you can say that.
Fine, I'll bleep it. Whatever. Why are women in sports so obsessed with player sexuality? It's fucking weird. I knew before y'all even spoke that would be a topic of this video. First of all, what we said was...
First of all, are you a witch? Because how would you know before we even speak what we're going to speak on? Is that witchcraft or are you just a misogynistic dick?
What's crazy is all we said was, statistically speaking, there's at least one gay NHL player.
Yeah.
Out or not. That's
And you know
all the
what?
reason.
It was confirmed.
And
he plays in, I think they said the AHL now.
Yeah, he plays in the AHL, but he's signed to the he's under contract for the Penguins.
Yeah.
I responded, "Thanks for watching and engaging regardless, sweetheart," with a kissy face. And he said, "It's just strange. Every chick is obsessed with the sexuality and gender of these players. 90% of posts about the PWHL have some sort of sexuality mixed in. What's your obsession with it?"
And honestly, I don't know what PWHL content he's seeing. I haven't seen them be sexualized at all.
No. I think they talk about like how open they are to the LGBTQ plus community, because so many of them
Pride
are.
Month. Kick rocks and fuck off if you have a problem.
I wanted to respond, and Lauren talked me out of it, but I wanted to respond with, if that's the kind of content that's getting pushed your way, you should pay attention. Like, you should look deeper within if that's the stuff that you're getting.
Well,
you should trust the algorithm.
I'm a pretty firm believer. Every once in a while, we do respond to the rage bait because, quite simply, I think that men shouldn't be allowed to speak without prior authorization, for the most part. Never, ever, ever am I talking about Tom Dangs or Randy or any of the crew, but for the general public, like, yes.
For the guys that come in our comments?
Yeah, because half of the guys that come in our comments are angels, and they get it. Yeah. And then the other half just want to, like, they want, like, a platform to air out.
They're insecure in their masculinity, so they have to put women down to make themselves feel better.
But I think that one of the most important things, this is my personal opinion, I think a lot of that is just, like, attention-seeking behavior because they weren't loved enough, and they currently aren't loved enough, and I just don't even validate it because I feel like validating it in replying, like, lets them feel seen, and I want you to remain invisible because that's what you are to me.
Couldn't have said it better.
Should we talk about the NHL?
So talking about men.
Oh my God. Can I talk about Pride?
Yes. While we're talking.
First of all, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
And if you don't like that, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Number 2, I want to call out by name the teams that have not posted anything to support Pride Month because my feelings got hurt. First of all, I want to shout out the allies, and that is the Capitals, the Ducks, the Krakens, and the Devils, because they all have Pride profile pictures, and honestly, I didn't have the Capitals down for that, and that's just me not being informed, because they've made several posts, and I actually, look, I don't hate the Capitals.
I don't hate the Capitals.
They really grew on me
ice.
the more I educated myself.
Dude, off the ice, I love them.
On the ice?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Just when y'all piss me off.
Yeah.
And you know what? My own team embarrasses me sometimes, so it's not just y'all.
My own team embarrassed me in this.
Yeah, let's go. Stars, Canes, Habs, Blues, Blackhawks, Wild, Oilers, Golden Knights, Panthers, Red Wings, Islanders, Rangers, and Flames. But the Flames, I will say, they've only had one post since December. But still, that's not enough. The Blue Jackets and the Jets. None of y'all have done anything for Pride. And I think that really, as of like a couple days ago, and I haven't seen anything change, but also haven't done a deep dive. So at the time of our recording, what are y'all doing? Are you scared?
Be scared.
What, you don't like a fun shirt and a fun design? Why does that make y'all so nervous? Do better.
The silence. Do better.
Because I don't want to say anything too crazy, but I'm really disappointed. In particular, the Habs. I've seen several things about how the Stalls are like very like anti-gay, and that's why they don't participate in Pride and like woohoo Christianity. Like, okay,
that one is less shocking.
That's not my type of Christian. But you don't have to be.
Never in the Bible did Jesus say to not love one another.
I actually think that's what he said is most important.
Like, kind of his whole thing. But hey, that's fine.
The biggest of these is love.
I actually love to have this debate with people.
To paraphrase in the New Lauren translation, he said, if you don't want to love others, get the fuck out of here because you're not with me and you're not down and I don't know you. And I will tell my dad I don't know you. Mm-hmm. But that's just like the New Lauren translation. Everyone interprets.
And I will tell my dad I don't love you.
Everyone interprets it differently. I also abide by the judge, not lest you be judged, because for being opinionated, I don't honestly hold a lot of ill will, but I am very disappointed in all of those teams. And I'm extra disappointed in the Habs because you're a Canadian team. You're not like a Deep South team. Like, I saw that coming a little bit from the Canes and the Stars.
I'm shocked with the Habs, too, because they're so involved with the PWHL.
I know. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, that is kind of shocking to me.
You don't like the gays and the theys? Fuck out of here.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
That's why you didn't go to the final.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, fuck are we doing here, to quote Luke Hughes.
Yeah.
But that's all. That's my rant. Do better.
Do better.
Me standing firm with the Devils and me finding love in my heart for the Capitals.
Growth. And that's on character development.
Well, the Devils...
It's a coming of age
The Devils have
movie,
been that girl. I will literally go down with that ship. And I have gone down with that ship in flames.
Yeah. Yeah, you have.
But that's my team.
You're right. That's your
my
right.
Team. And they do so much in supporting Pride things and like Pride Night and all of that. Good. And I just like to see it.
Yeah, and the biggest ally, the Sharks.
Those are my babies.
But you know, we're just chicks obsessed with people's sexualities.
Hey, what can I say? 90% of my posts are about sexuality.
So, anyways.
And anywho. And fuck you.
Well, okay, actually, speaking of Pride Month, one last thing. Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club.
Oh my God, I had that on my list to talk about.
Are you talking about the Gretzky of it all?
Yes.
Okay, Wayne Gretzky does not give...
He's
ally.
Old.
He does not give ally to me. But if you didn't know, the Edmonton Oilers play Pink Pony Club. Like, that's their
song. And they refuse to elaborate on the lore.
They refuse to.
And that's their right.
I kind of love it.
And they have rights. As of now.
And I kind of love it. But Gretzky was... I think all of the TNT guys were at the game.
Yeah.
And they were playing Pink Pony Club or whatever. And he asked about it. And there's a conversation that happens between him and Biz about it on air.
And Wayne Gretzky goes, "What's Pink Pony?" And Biz goes, "She's a woman. She's a woman who sings about the Pink Pony Club. I'm going to have to play it for you." And he goes, "Ha ha. Yeah, I'm going to have to download Pink Pony Club as my ringtone."
Yeah.
Which is so old. I love it.
I know. It is old.
Now that I've railroaded your conversation about the Pink Pony Club, I'm sorry. Would you like to talk about the game?
Okay. To get into the actual games, I know we've tried. We keep getting sidetracked.
That's so unlike us.
I know. It's shocking. If you are new here, the Oilers and the Panthers are playing for the Cup. This is the same matchup as last year. However, last year, the Oilers went down 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
And they won a game.
Yeah, we're 1-1 right
currently,
now.
at the time that we're recording this, it's 1-1. Yeah, and they'll play again on Monday, so like the day before this comes out. But we're not going to we'll talk about that next episode.
Okay.
So, game 1 in Edmonton. Both games have gone into overtime. It's very PWHL of them.
It's been very playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Maximum.
Yeah. So Draisaitl scored just over a minute into game 1. It was a series of saves that Bobrovsky had.
Bobrovsky.
I can't say
That's not right either.
Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky.
Why is that so hard? That's like
because you're tired.
It's like railroad tracks.
Railroad
tracks.
Lightning.
The Naders.
The Naders have been getting you.
The Naders are coming.
Wee, wee, wee. That's actually the sound that the Naders make in the South. They didn't put that in Twister the movie. Or the sequel.
Okay, Bob had 2 good...
Yep, Bob. My guy.
Good old Bob.
We love Bob Rocky.
He had 2 good saves, but on the 3rd rebound, Draisaitl put it in.
He does that.
2nd rebound, 3rd shot.
And that's why he's rich.
Yeah, he didn't score in the final series at all last year. He has broken that curse because he scored twice in this game. One being the game-winning goal, but we'll get to that.
Spoilers.
Yeah. About halfway through the first, Verhaeghe... It looked like it was Verhaeghe. They gave the credit to Bennett. I think it actually deflected off of Bennett. Scores to tie the game. The Oilers challenged it for goaltender interference because Sam Bennett fell very much in the crease. Mm-hmm. And look, the Oilers lost the challenge. A case can be made for both because Sam Bennett was shoved, but he went down very easily. And he kind of does that where he'll if there's any contact, he'll just throw himself down because he can get goaltender interference and not get a penalty called because he was shoved.
My thing is...
It's giving embellishment.
But I think the Oilers get away with one, and then in game 1, and then the Panthers got away with one in game 2. So in my head, it's equal.
Yeah, the Panthers did get away with a big one in game 2.
Yeah, they do that.
In the second overtime, too.
They do that, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, Kulak knocked Bennett down. The puck actually went off of Bennett, so not only did he get away with goaltender interference, he actually got credit for the goal.
Yep. He said, I'm going to work smarter, not harder.
Yes. But because of the lost challenge, the Oilers went on a penalty kill, and Marchand scored off of the penalty kill.
Which was disappointing. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then Bennett put the Cats up 3-1 2 minutes into the second period. Now, you would think that would kill the Oilers' momentum. No. Arvidsson scored just over a minute later, and then Ekholm scored about 6 minutes into the third to tie the game, to go to overtime. With 31 seconds left in overtime, a McDavid to Draisaitl pass for Draisaitl to score.
McDry does it again.
They did it on a power play, too.
Yep.
Because Nosek for the Panthers had a delay of game penalty with just 1 minute and 43 seconds left. It was funny. I don't know if you saw the clip of Wallman, like, skating up. He's getting escorted to the penalty box, and Wallman for the Oilers comes up, and he's just like, ah!
I did see that. Because
it was so freaking
he had done
funny.
it to him earlier in the game when he got away with shoving him.
That's so funny.
So then when he went to the penalty box, he came up and was like, ha ha, fuck you, bitch. I'm sorry, I'm trying to watch my profanities. He said, ha ha ha, loser.
Sucks to suck. So yeah, the Oilers won that game 4-3 in overtime. And then game 2 was last night. Now last night I was at a birthday party. And I didn't plan on watching this game. But I look over and a different guy has the game on, so I was like, okay, that gives me the right to watch the game. And then I ended up staying well past when everybody else left at the bar to watch the rest of it too.
And Naomi stayed with you.
Naomi did. Shout out Naomi. She doesn't know anything about hockey, but she just blindly trusted everything that was coming out of my mouth. And by the end of the night, she was like, I hate the Panthers. I can't believe.
Shout out to Naomi, because she might not know anything about hockey, but she knows a lot about being a good friend.
Yes, she does.
Love her.
And I actually left after the first overtime to come home. I come home because I'm like, surely I won't miss too much, right? I come home. I'm on our front doorstep. It is on the Ring camera.
We have a Blink camera.
The Blink camera. Me pulling up the game as I'm trying to get into the house right as Marchand scores. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yep. I did watch that this morning. Confirm.
It's super fun.
And then she showed the camera.
I was like, Marchand just scored. But let's see. Oh, Bennett kind of got away with another one of those fallings and goaltender interference.
He gets away with a lot of them.
Yeah, about 12 minutes into the second period of game 2, he falls on Skinner, like fully on him.
Yeah.
And Skinner actually, like, the trainer came out and I was scared and I was like, no.
Because they've been known to take out a goalie.
Yeah. Yeah, the Panthers have been known to take out a goalie before.
But y'all don't want to talk about that.
He took his glove off and was, like, shaking his hand and messing with his hand, too. He ended up playing the rest of the game, but Bennett did get a goaltender interference penalty for that.
And he deserved it.
Which is right. It's equal in my eyes now.
Yeah.
Congrats. And, however...
You win some, you lose some.
However, during that penalty, Marchand did score a shorthanded goal.
I will say, it's been really nice to see Brad Marchand go to a team where he can actually, like, win games consistently.
I want you to know, I was paying attention to how they were saying his name, and they were saying Marchand.
I think it's in the eye of the Marchand, you know?
Okay. So I'm going to continue with how I say it, which is different every single time it comes out of my mouth.
It's a variety pick.
Yeah. So I was really anxious. I thought that for sure the Panthers had it in the bag because they were up 4-3, I want to say.
Both of them are third quarter teams. So I don't ever, until that clock says 0-0.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yeah, they're going to score.
But I was like, I'm going to stay until the end of the game. There's like 3 minutes left. And boy, am I glad that I did, because with 18 seconds left in the third period, Corey Perry scored to tie the game and send them into overtime with 18 seconds left in the game. Now, I had talked a lot of shit about Corey Perry taking dumb penalties to one of my friends that was there that watches hockey. I talked so much crap about him. I take it all back. I'm so sorry.
Well, did you also, side note, did you see him bring his son to interviews before game 2?
No.
And they were like, are you supposed to, like, what are your friends going to think about it? And he was like, I guess they think I'm sick. And he was answering questions, and Corey's just standing there looking at him, smiling like the proudest dad in the world.
That's so cute.
And I was like, this can't be the same 40-year-old that fought a 20-year-old. Can it?
Look, if there's one thing I've learned, it is they are different people on ice than off ice.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Sometimes for the good of things. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah. During the first overtime, at one point they actually panned to Wayne Gretzky, and he's literally yawning. It's like, that's actually
past his bedtime.
That's crazy to cut to him as he's yawning.
Those games have been going so late.
They have. And Marchand came so close. I thought for sure he had scored in the first overtime, but Skinner had an insane save.
Yeah.
The puck rebounded back to Marsh. Why did I stop right there? Back to Marchand. And he shot it again, and it went off a post. So thank God for the post.
Thank you, girl.
However, that was not enough in the end. Why do I have this? Number 3, yeets Nurse down in first overtime whistle. That's my note. What
Number 3, let me see who that is.
For the Panthers?
Oh, look, I have the Panthers roster pulled up. Seth Jones.
Oh, yeah, that tracks.
That does track.
Yeah.
Are you planning on talking about how the Oilers resurfaced their ice? Did you see that?
No. So can I finish this first?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And then, as I said, about 8 minutes into overtime, the second overtime, Marchand scores to win the game. I'm so used to saying McDry that I almost forgot to say his full name. First of all, in second overtime, the refs 100% missed a too many men on ice penalty.
Thank you.
Like, it
was blatant.
They were all kind of close together, so I could see how it would be hard to see it, but the Panthers got away with the big one with that.
But they were equal.
Yeah. I think the Oilers played really well. Yeah. McDavid had he assisted on 3 of the 4 Oilers goals.
Yeah.
As he does.
As he does.
Including one where I can't even describe it, but he had a sick, like, behind a Panthers player move. Like, it was, I think you know what I'm
down one that the NHL ended up posting because it was so sick.
It was so good. He got it. It was great. He passed it to Draisaitl. Draisaitl scored off of it.
He's McJesus for a reason.
Yeah. It was funny because they then cut to Bouchard, who's, like, in shock of just witnessing that. It was great.
That's how I felt watching it, too.
Yeah. It was fantastic. God. And
he is risen.
He is risen. Amen.
Preach. The only thing I have to add on that is that the Oilers, ahead of game 1, they pulled ice to resurface their arena with a lot of their players' hometown minor league ice.
Stop. I didn't see that.
Isn't that so cute?
That's so cute.
And then they won. So is it witchcraft? I don't know. Let's do it again.
Well, yeah, let's do that again.
That's not the first time they've done that. It's just a rare thing. At all.
I did see Rodriguez ahead of game 1 getting booed, and
he loved it.
He did love it. That was actually crazy to witness. What was he doing with his face? It's giving ally. Happy Pride.
He was trying really hard to be a meme. And you know what? I can respect that.
He got his wish, if that was the case.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times, that little clip.
Yeah, me too. Okay. I've already talked about all of these notes.
Let me see if I have any more notes.
One thing that I did write down, I probably could have said it before we talked about the series, but it didn't end up being anything. Connor Brown is available again for the Oilers, which is great. Lundell and Lustranen were cleared to play for Florida as well as... Anyways, the Spitting Chicklets, which isn't the most reliable source.
Yeah.
Apparently, ahead of game 1 during practice, McDavid had a conversation with the training staff and left practice early. I was like, no, he can't be injured. And there's nothing to say he isn't and just playing through it, but I got nervous. That's all.
Dude, I think that short of physically being unable to walk,
He's going to be out there.
he's going to be out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to verbalize it because I don't want to jinx him.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
And that's all.
Thank you.
For game 1.
I've also seen rumors, also from unreliable sources, that Ovi's last season is going to be this next season. I talked to Taylor about that last night because I was like, where did that come from? Apparently, something leaked from the Capitals organization that was like, come watch Ovi in his last season.
Yeah, they sent an email to the season ticket holders.
Oh,
allegedly.
That's what it was.
Yeah, they have not officially confirmed. I'm sure they won't until Ovechkin confirms.
Yeah, I don't see why he would be retiring at the end of this season unless he's just wants to. But also, like, that's not going to stop them. He's still playing very well. All he has to do is hit one-timers over and over again. He's really freaking good at that. He just stands there at the left face-off dot.
Yeah, but his kids are getting older. Maybe he wants to be more active in
the community.
Maybe he wants to be a more active dad. More active than you can be when you have to travel as much as they do during such a long season.
That's fair. Either
also,
way,
he's had
I'll
a lot
be shocked.
of injuries. And I mean, he's beaten Gretzky's record, so like, short of winning a cup, which
he's already done.
Yeah. What else really is there?
Yeah. Hey, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see if the Silver Fox comes back for another couple years or just one.
I kind of would be shocked if he decided to retire, but it is what it is.
I've seen it from so many unconfirmed email accounts. What? No, I haven't. I've seen it from so many unverified accounts about the shareholder or season ticket holders meeting or email that they sent out. Jesus Christ. Let me try that again.
Okay.
I've seen it so many times from so many non-confirmed accounts that the email got sent out that said it was his last season, but I'll wait.
Yeah.
To see what the man himself says.
That's one of those things that, like, unless the Capitals announce it or he is standing in front of me saying it to my face, I won't really believe it.
Well, the spitting chicklets have also clickbaited me enough times that I don't trust anything unless it comes from the official team or the NHL.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also a Formula One fan, and those rumors are almost always true. And then like a month or two later, they get confirmed by the sources themselves.
That like
is
Lewis
true, DeFerrari.
But Lewis DeFerrari, I still didn't believe until I saw him race a Ferrari.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way.
Denial is my head.
Look, I was a Ferrari girl first and foremost, so I can suffer with the best of them.
Yeah.
But it's really sad to see him get a taste of the Ferrari curse.
Yeah.
But he chose that.
I only have a couple other notes.
Great.
The Bruins have hired a new head coach, Marco Strum, who played with them for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
He was kind of one of those players. He's German. Mm-hmm. He was one of the first Germans and was very much created the pipeline of Germans to the NHL.
And Lucas Reichel thanks you.
Period. Also, one thing, hockey related, but not really. This is kind of like fine. It's hockey pop culture, if you will.
It's our podcast. We can talk about whatever we want.
Yes. Tessa and Magnus are engaged.
I know.
A rock.
Absolute
3 rocks, if I remember correctly. It was so funny. If you don't know who they are, Tessa is, she's a lot of things. She's a paralegal. She's an icon.
Magnus was a goalie for the Sharks for like a season or two, and then he's down in EHL?
He played a lot in the AHL with the Sharks, but he was under contract with the Sharks, played for their AHL team. Mm-hmm. He's now under contract with the Milwaukee Admirals, which is the Predators AHL affiliate.
They just signed him to a 2-year deal, I believe.
He just signed a new deal.
Mm-hmm. But they've been together since college, met in college, friends to lovers, one of my favorite tropes. And she loves to just flame him in like the cutest, most healthy way. She's so freaking funny. She just got her paralegal certification / degree. We love to see it. You Queen go, girl.
Shit. Yeah.
I did want to cry a little bit when I watched their full video about it. Because it's so funny that how he did it was so smart.
They're like on a road trip and they kind of pull over to some random little beach or whatever. Anyways, they're like hugging. She's taking like a picture as they're hugging, and she pretends to get down on a knee to propose to him, and he's like, ha ha ha.
You're so
and
funny.
And then he gets down on a knee and proposes to her.
For serious.
It was great.
And it was not their dog's birthday.
Yes. I love too.
Obsessed.
He's trained because he took off that flannel before he got down on one knee.
Yeah, he did. I also love her for being like, I mean, this is not the outfit that I thought I would be getting engaged in, but oh well.
But how sentimental all of it was. Like, she was wearing her dad's jacket.
What a freaking coincidence.
Family jewelry and stuff. Oh, it was so cute. But yeah, I'm very excited for that wedding.
I can't wait for the content.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Oh! Spencer Carberry was named the Jack Adams Award recipient. He won the Jack Adams.
Dude, I know I'm delusional, but I still want Quinn Hughes to win the Norris, even though Kel McCarr is clearly more qualified to win it. I just think you need to take in suffering into account. And no one has suffered more than that man.
Penalty Box Confessions made good points that if Hughes was healthy the whole season, he probably would have.
But he's a Hughes, and one thing about them, they get a little hurt.
Spencer Carberry is the first individual to ever earn Coach of the Year honors in the NHL, AHL, and ECHL.
You freaking go, girl.
And honestly, he kind of deserves it.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah Nurse quote. LOL. Apparently when she was injured this season, her family was like, we don't care if you're not playing. We're still coming to the games.
Period.
Which is cute because she's from that area.
Yeah.
And she said they probably bought the most merch out of anybody.
Girl, just wait until you see how much merch I'm about for you in Vancouver.
Yeah. And when she told her family the news that she had been traded, someone basically was like, my Sarah Nurse jersey is now obsolete.
Look,
and she said, no, it's vintage.
I learned my lesson when I bought a David Malukas jersey.
Yeah.
And literally the next day he got traded. So that's why I buy Etsy instead of official, because I'm not paying that type of price for you to get traded in a season or two. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, we kind of have a curse when it comes to merch.
What do you mean?
I bought a Daniel Ricciardo shirt, and then that was the downfall of Daniel Ricciardo.
No, he's been flaming out for like years before that.
I bought a Lewis Hamilton Mercedes hat. Now he's with Ferrari. Granted, I bought that after we knew. So that's actually not on me.
Yeah, you bought that in Amsterdam.
Yeah, well after we knew, because I was like, I've got to get a Mercedes hat for him before he goes to Ferrari.
Yeah. It's vintage.
It's vintage.
I have a couple fun facts, though,
okay,
to completely
tell me your
segue.
Fun facts.
Did you see the McDry bestie quiz that they did?
Yes.
Tell me it wasn't giving we've been married for 10 years.
They are an old married couple.
Because Leon is so, like, they know each other so well. Leon's like, he's going to have this, and he's going to have pasta, and he's going to put sweet potatoes under the pasta because where a normal person has tomato sauce, he just thinks that that's his sauce, blah, 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 blah. I was like, y'all are married.
Yeah. It was so cute.
I was obsessed with it.
Yes. I forgot. What else do you have?
Did you see that the Blue Jackets' Sean Monahan won the Masterson Trophy?
Yes, and...
No, don't spoil!
Oh.
Did you see who presented it?
Yes.
Meredith
Gaudreau surprised him with it.
I'm not gonna lie, it did bring tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
The Masterson Trophy is for perseverance, dedication, and sportsmanship. And then I did a deep dive on Bill Masterson, and... Baby girl, that's why we have helmets. He's the only NHL player to die as a direct result of his injury.
Oh.
He played in the 60s, I believe 67. He was playing a game, obviously, and two guys, like, hit him, and this was before helmets were mandatory. And in fact, if you wore a helmet, they would just trade you to another team because they thought that you were scared to play, which is so stupid.
I am scared to play.
So he got hit on the head, and then he... lost consciousness on ice and never regained. Supposedly, allegedly, a couple people said that he came back to on the ice and said never again, but that's not been confirmed. But his autopsy came out and he had already had a pre-existing concussion, which a couple of the coaches were like, yeah, he did seem like a little symptomatic of like something going on. And then the second hit just like when you already have a pre-existing injury like that and then you take another one, it can dramatically increase how fast your brain will swell. And once it swells to a big enough point, like, you're done. So he died, I think, the next day.
I didn't know about that. Well,
they still didn't make helmets mandatory.
Yeah.
And in fact, the next season, I think they had one player or a couple players wear helmets, and they literally traded them. They didn't start wearing helmets for like another decade or two.
I knew that.
I think it was the 90s.
Because I remember reading Clint Malarchuk's book, when he was talking about when goalies started wearing face masks, and you were like mocked. Yeah. Because they were like, "Oh, you're scared."
I am scared.
Yeah, bitch, I am scared.
Look at this face. I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
It's the only face I got.
There's too many freak accidents that happen. I'm glad they wear helmets now and visors. I'm
very pro safety. I want you to play for a long, healthy time.
Yeah. I don't want you to die playing a game.
I do not want you to get enough concussions that you kill yourself or aren't able to be the person that you really are.
Yeah. I hate that.
I mean, we've seen what's happened in the NFL.
Girl, have we
And by seeing,
ever.
I watched the Will Smith movie several years ago about the doctor who, you know this one.
Girl, the look on my... No, I don't.
So, everyone's getting concussions, and the player, I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up later. I don't really watch football. I'm so sorry, y'all. And by I don't really, I mean I don't. He had enough, like, TBIs from playing in the NHL that he was suicidal and killed himself. And, like, his note was, like, I want my brain, like, there's something wrong with my brain. I want it to be used for science to figure out what's wrong with me. And then this doctor started getting invested in, like, studying the concussions and the TBIs and the brain injuries from NFL players. And that's how, and then the NFL found out and, like, railroaded him. And then it was, like, years before his work was, like, recognized. Ugh. And that's why they have so much padding. Well, anything else? Those were all the notes I had.
No, it's a short episode. Well, there's only been 2 games.
I know. Like, babes, almost everything's done. Next episode will probably be I
think that's 3 games because I think they play... Well, I think they play Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday next week. Let's check.
I have to wait 2 days in between. They're playing tonight, which is Saturday, so they should play Monday.
Yeah, they play Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. We'll have more to talk about because we'll record Sunday next week.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Are we going golfing on Saturday?
We're going golfing Sunday.
And we're recording Sunday?
Yeah. We'll be home by like 9:30. Well, we're going to brunch.
We can just ask them to do an early tea time.
We'd go at 7. That's when they open.
7 a.m.?
That's when they open.
On a Saturday?
On a Sunday? Yes, queen.
Bitch. I don't golf. This will be my first time. I'm more of like a cart lady. Like, I just want to bring the beverages and judge.
Yeah, I will be golfing.
Play music and vibe.
I will be golfing, and I will be taking it hard on myself.
This is actually the first time I've been invited to golf with them.
Yeah, because...
Them being our parents. Y'all normally go when I have to work. When it's my weekend of work, though.
That's fair. Also, that reaction of 7 a.m., that's why. We go at 7. We go when they open, and we play the back 9 so that we're alone.
Yeah, that's smart.
It'll be fun.
They let me play putt-putt with them one time 2 years ago, and that's the extent of my golfing experience. If you don't include Wii Golf. First of all, I think I came in 3rd place.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating part. Why was she good?
Because I learned
3rd out of 4 people, actually.
Well, like, Dad's good at everything.
Yeah.
And you golf a lot, and Mom's terrible at everything. So I just had to beat her. And even with me trying to, like, rage bait you and Dad successfully for most of the experience, I still came in 3rd. Because when it comes down to it, I got that dog in me, rough. Like, I know how to compete, kind of. Yeah. I just have, like, I'm very nearsighted. So I'm more so nervous that A, I won't be able to hit the ball, and that's fine. I'm expecting that. And then B, I don't know where the frick that thing's going to land. If it's like more than 5 feet out in front of me, I really can't see that well.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
We will watch for your ball.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, comment below.
Okay.
What do you think the ranking is going to be in our family when we go golfing?
I think
it's me, my dad, Mom, and Abby.
I can see you playing like the first 2 holes and then just driving the golf cart, which is fine. Dad will be the best.
How many times do you think Mom's
Obviously.
going to throw her golf cart? Not her golf cart. She ain't that strong.
I know what you meant, the club. I've only ever seen her throw a club once. I've seen her threaten to smash her club multiple times. But also, she'll
walk if she does bad enough. She'll say she doesn't.
We all will.
What did she say? She doesn't deserve to ride in the golf cart with how she's playing.
Which is, honestly, all three of us do that.
Yeah, we're all
like,
competitive.
I can't. I actually need to be alone with my thoughts. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, we're channeling our inner Hughes.
Yeah.
The family that golfs together slays together.
I normally play really good on the first hole, and then by the end, I'm playing horribly because I've gotten so in my head. And I'm over there fighting demons.
You should really try not to stress like that. Have you ever thought about that? Like, it's just a game.
Oh, you fixed me.
It's just a game, you know? There's nothing writing on it.
Yes, there is. My dignity.
What dignity?
She's never golfed. You'll figure it out this weekend.
I embarrass myself on a regular. I'm pretty good at it.
It's just I want to be better. That's all.
I get very annoyed when I'm not naturally good at anything.
I wouldn't say I'm naturally good at it.
I wouldn't
even say I'm good at golf. I'm okay. But I'm better than Mom.
You just have to not be the worst.
Yeah, I'm not the worst, and that's what really matters. I did really good on one of the back holes last time. That always makes me question if I should ever touch a golf club again. And I did really well. So I'm feeling good going into this weekend.
I'll probably rage out.
Oh, probably. I think that's normal.
I'm estimating 2 to 3 crash outs. If I crash out a third time, I'm going to put myself in timeout and be the cart driver. Mm-hmm. But I'm just hoping to be better than Mom. I'm naturally more athletic than her because I take after our dad.
She's a lefty when it comes to golf.
Well, when I did gymnastics, I was a lefty.
So maybe try with her clubs.
But I'm also right-handed. No, her clubs are cursed.
She's just bad. Her clubs aren't cursed. She's just not good. It's not the clubs, it's her. You know, in High School Musical 2, when they go golfing with Sharpay's family, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
I'm going to wear a cute little outfit, a cute little tennis dress that I already own, and sneakers.
It's cold, I think.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, fair.
I'm going to look cute. Yeah. I'll bring a cardigan if I get cold.
Scientific research does show that you play better when you're in a cute outfit.
Yes, because you feel better. If you look better, you are better.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my patients. If you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you are good.
Yeah, maybe we should give that advice to the Oilers. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to wrap this back into hockey.
We're doing really well. Thank you for listening to us ramble.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little bit of lore from our family.
Yeah.
I know we drop it every once in a blue moon. If you made it this far into the episode,
our family has crazy lore, actually.
Yeah, every time we do an accidental lore drop, I get told that we have crazy lore. But I think that's just
my friends
family.
are very concerned about me, but we're fine.
They're not concerned about you. They're concerned about your upbringing.
Molly told me to hire an Etsy witch because I'm cursed and.
Abby, that's because you're a woman and you have a very sweet face, and so creepy ass men think it's okay to try and corner you in a Trader Joe's parking lot to ask directions.
Y'all,
but that family that was across the way from you was watching to make sure you didn't get kidnapped.
Yeah, no one was
Shout out to y'all.
No one was watching when a second man tried to corner me by the bathrooms and tell me all about his divorce, and I just needed to go to the bathroom. Anyways, it threw me so much for a loop in that Trader Joe's that I forgot to even reference my grocery list, and I didn't leave there with anything that I needed.
You didn't get peanut butter.
I didn't get a single thing that we needed. I left there with a coffee and a candy, and that was it.
And that's fine.
Anyways, we'll be back next week with a little bit more content. A little bit more to say.
One more thing. Did y'all watch the Stanley Cup? Because we still need to get at least 5 of those little puppers adopted. So if you're feeling adulty, if you're feeling responsible,
adopt a pup.
Adopt a pup. They need a home. They deserve a home.
They do deserve homes. They deserve a loving home.
They deserve a good, healthy, loving home. All right.
Okay, bye.